Hello, it's Nørgaard. So welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. So I'm really excited about today's video. I am doing a review and a double wear test of this new Technic foundation. This one is called the Sculpt and Define Matte Finish Foundation. So in this video I'm going to talk about the foundation in general, you know, what the claims are, what the price is, the shade selection, and then I'm doing two wear tests to show you how the foundation performs. And yeah, I'm basically doing an in-depth review. So if you like this video and find it helpful, don't forget to thumbs up my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also click the bell to get post notifications. And that's basically it, so let's just get right into it. So this is the foundation we're going to try out today. It's the Technic Sculpt and Define Matte Finish Foundation. I'm really interested in this because it's supposed to be matte. And I have like super oily skin, and also I'm sweating so much today. It's so hot. And also it's like pouring down with rain. I can't even open the window because then you'll be able to hear all the rain just absolutely pouring down. But anyway, this foundation is defined as a medium coverage foundation that dries down to an even matte finish. And I really love medium coverage and I really love matte. So I think this foundation has a lot of potential. And I have it in the color Ivory, and it looks like it's going to be a good shade match. Shades are very limited for Technique's foundations in general. I'm just going to look it up, but I think there are only like six shades. And of course that's not a lot at all. So it does only come in 6 different colors. So that's definitely a big disadvantage to this foundation. I got it in the color Ivory, which is the second to lightest. So before we go in with the foundation, I'm going to prime half of my face with the Fenty Beauty like the soft matte primer. And I think I'm going to prime this side. And I'm going to take the rings off, and then we're going to blend that in. And we're going to see, you know, if it makes a difference to have a primer underneath the foundation. Okay, so let's go ahead and shake it up and get ready. So the packaging is actually pretty nice. I think it's very sleek with the kind of matted black cap, and then it's also nice and heavy. I'm actually not sure if it's just thick plastic or if it's glass. I feel like it's just thick plastic. And it comes with a big old doe foot applicator, kind of like, you know, the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. So I'm going to start swiping that on, and the color looks really good actually. I dipped into the bottle 4 times to get this much product, and I'm going to use a damp beauty blender to blend this out. So let's see how much coverage this is going to give me. I feel like it looks like pretty light coverage. Let's see how it blends over the cheeks. I have like the most to cover on my cheeks. I think it's definitely medium coverage. It covered my different discolorations somewhat, but it's definitely not full coverage. And let's see how it blends out on the unprimed side. I never do foundation without primer, like ever. But it seems to actually blend out really nice on the unprimed side as well. It is not looking bad at all actually. I actually think it looks great. I would say medium coverage is definitely spot on. I feel like it's definitely medium coverage. As far as it being matte, compared to other matte foundations I have, this is not really matte. I would say this is more like a natural finish. And I do look pretty shiny right now, as you can see. But let's keep in mind that I do have very oily skin. I am sweating right now, and I'm not wearing a mattifying primer. So it has a lot to work with, this foundation. Like, it needs to mattify a lot for my skin to look matte with all of those factors. But yeah, I wouldn't call this a matte foundation. I would definitely call it more on the demi-matte side, probably. More on like the natural skin side. So just for fun, we're going to try and build it up. See if it builds up and gets more coverage than what we have right now. So I'm going to apply the same amount. So that would be 4 dips. And we shall see what that does. I will say you do not pick up a lot of product with this doe foot. So let's go ahead and blend it out. See if we get more coverage. I feel like it has a bit more coverage, but it definitely doesn't go to full coverage. But I think we did get more coverage, yeah, for sure. And I think it blends out really nice. But if you like your full coverage foundations, this one is not for you. Because I can still see a little bit of my discoloration through the foundation, and it doesn't dry down too fast. You know, I can still blend out this forehead stripe without any problems. So it's not one of those foundations that sets like immediately. So I actually really like this foundation. For a matte foundation, I would have liked it to be more matte, but I really love how easy it was to blend. It was not, you know, sticking to like my eyebrows. Sometimes foundation kind of clings to my eyebrows, and sometimes it clings to like any, like I have a little sit over here. If that gets dry, then it like clings to the dryness. And it even looks good on my pores on the unprimed side. I think it does look a bit better on the primed side, but it's a small difference. So let's see how concealer applies on top of this foundation. I'm going to use the W7. It's a matte made in heaven. Heavenly matte concealer in the color, what color is this? Fair Neutral number 2. And we are going to see how foundation mixes, how concealer mixes with this foundation. So let's go ahead and blend this out. It seems to be blending out just fine on top of the foundation. The concealer is definitely blending out beautifully on top of the foundations. I have no problems. I am going to set with my Lavender powder by Fenty Beauty, and I'm baking with this powder on the concealed areas, and then I'm going to go in with another powder for the rest of the face. I'm going to use these Wet n Wild CoverAll powders in light and fair, and I'm going to set all, the foundation basically. And as I'm setting the foundation, I'm also wiping away the bake, kind of just stamping it into the skin. And so far it actually looks really nice. And then this huge under eye bake needs to go. And I'm also going to use a fluffy powder brush to help out with that. And also just set the neck. So the foundation actually looks so good once it has been set. It looks very poreless on the primed side. I can see a little tiny bit more of pores on the non-primed side, but it's not bad at all. Like, it's not, unless you're all up close, you can't tell. I think it actually looks great so far. So let's see how it responds to face color products. I'm going to use this e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzing powder in Antigua, and I'm going to use the bronzer and the blush in here. And this bronzer is so freaking pigmented. I have to like be really careful because I'm so pale. But I'm just going to, do my regular bronzing routine and see how the foundation works with, getting a brush rubbed across it. So far it looks amazing. It hasn't budged at all. And I picked a very deep bronzer that I need to blend out a lot for it to work for my skin tone. And it's not being disturbed at all by the blending. So let's go ahead and do the cheeks. See how that works. And I definitely need some color back in this face. I was looking so ghostly. It's getting a little bit disturbed on my cheek, right in here. This happens to me a lot. It's not really something you can tell from a distance, and it doesn't bother me because it happens to me so often and it's not too bad. But it is kind of lifting a tiny bit. Let's see if it does the same on the unprimed side. Yeah, it's lifting a little bit on this side as well. It's not terrible. It's not something that would stop me from using the foundation again. But it's not completely flawless. And I did also really put the foundation to the test because this bronzer is so dark, so I really need to blend it out. Now, let's try out the nose. I have quite a lot of texture on my nose, so sometimes that can disturb the foundation. This bronzer is so dark. Look at this nose. Let's blend it out. Blend, 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 blend. It doesn't seem to disturb the nose makeup whatsoever. Okay, let me just apply a little bit of blush. See how that looks. Usually blush is like a softer motion, so it usually doesn't disturb my foundation the way bronzer does. But let's check it out. I think the blush is applying really well. And since both my blush and my bronzer have been shimmery, I'm not going to apply any highlighter. So this is it for the face makeup. I'm not going to set my face, just to really test out the foundation, And my lip is like sweating. It's starting to like look crusty. Ugh, my goodness gracious. Okay, I got it. Anyway, this is all. I'm going to do my eye makeup and my lip makeup, and I'll come back once I'm all done. And then I'm going to do a wear test throughout the day. Right now, it is 3:30 in the afternoon. I know it's very late, but I'm hosting a party at 6, so I need to do my makeup for the party. So we shall see how the foundation lasts throughout the party. But yeah, I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, you guys, I'm back with all my makeup on. It is now 5:30, so it has been like what, 2 hours? Oh my goodness, 1 hour? I don't remember. What did I say? Did I say 3:30 or 4:30? I really don't remember. But the makeup has settled in now. I filmed another video and I think it looks really good. It still looks really smooth on the face. It hasn't accentuated any like texture or any dry spots or any pores. It is getting a little more shiny. Like in here I get super oily around my nose and on the chin, and as I said, as you saw, I'm not wearing any highlighter, but so far it's still looking really good. I'm going to check in later on in the night to show you what it's looking like, but so far I'm pleased with this foundation. And I'm just going to zoom you in so you can see it up close. So again, this is the primed side, this is the unprimed. Okay, so I'm back for my check-in, and oh my god, you guys, look at me. Like, everything is a mess. Okay, first of all, let me apply my lipstick. Okay, so I was hosting a party. It is now 1:45 a.m. And if I remember correctly, I put on the foundation. I was done with all my face makeup at 3:30. Else it was 4:30, but I feel like it was 3:30. That's like over 10 hours. So you can see what the skin looks like now. After 10 hours of wear, it is so shiny. Like, when I tell you guys that I'm oily, like, this is what I mean. Like, look at my face. It's literally melting off. And I did touch up once. Around 8 p.m. I blotted my face down and I applied some Fenty, like the Fenty translucent powder. And just look at how shiny I am. Like, for real. I have been sweating a lot today. It's such a hot day for Denmark standards. It has been like very hot and humid, you know. It has been raining. And it has just been super hot. It's still hot right now. Like, I'm sweating right now. So that doesn't help. But like, look at my face. I don't think I've ever been on camera looking this much of a disaster. And also the concealer, it has creased under both my eyes. I am very close to being done with this W7 concealer. I did a first impressions review of this concealer and it creased on me the first time. And now I believe this is my second or third time using it and it's creasing badly again. And my eyeliner is smearing in the inner corner and my eyeshadow is also creasing a bit. So it's just a whole mess. I'm also looking a little bit patchy, besides of course looking extremely oily and shiny. But of course this is after 10 hours of wear. On me it's not terrible. This is not terrible for a foundation wearing 10 hours with only one touch-up. But for a self-proclaimed matte foundation, I don't find it to be that matte. Like, even when I applied it, you guys saw how dewy it was. It still looks good on the pores. It hasn't emphasized the pores or any texture. But of course it is melting around the nose. Yeah, I mean, it's melting around the nose, and of course it is extremely shiny. I'm just going to touch up. Oh, actually I should take a picture before I touch up. Okay, let me hold that thought. So yeah, I don't think this Technic Sculpt and Define foundation is a terrible foundation. I would definitely use it again, but I would more so use it for shorter days and not so humid days for sure. But overall, I do not think it's terrible. I like the way it applied, the way it blended out, the look on the skin, and the way it made my pores look. The only thing is that this really sells itself on being a matte foundation. It is not a true matte foundation. It is a demi-matte at best, but I would actually say it's more of a natural slash like dewy foundation. So if you're looking for this as an oily skin person, I would not recommend it. But if you're looking at this from the viewpoint that you want kind of a nice dewy natural look, then I think it's pretty good. But yeah, let me just, you know, show you what 10 hours of wear looks like. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the foundation. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You can see how it looks. So it's up to you to know your own skin and your own preferences to make a decision whether or not this would be a good foundation for you. And yeah, I think I'm going to bed now, you guys. Like, it's almost 2 a.m. I'm super tired. I had a few drinks. And I didn't sleep a lot last night either, so I need to go to sleep for real. Okay, you guys, so last time you saw me was on Friday. Today it's Monday. So I did my first wear test on Friday. You saw how it went. I got super oily and very dewy, so to speak. And I was actually just planning on letting that be my video and let that be my review. But today, Monday morning, when I sat down to do my video, I still had my Technic Sculpt and Define foundation just sitting out from Friday night. So yeah, I haven't cleaned my table yet. I have had so much to do. But anyway, this was just sitting out. I just grabbed for it, applied it, you know, and I've been wearing this makeup and this foundation throughout the day. And I just got home and I thought, why don't I do a second wear test? So that's what we're doing right now. I'm showing you what the foundation looks like today on Monday. So today I applied my Technic Sculpt and Define Matte Finish Foundation around 11:45 and it is now 5:30 in the afternoon. So this foundation has almost been on for 6 hours and it looks like this. It actually looks really good. I have not touched it up. I have not done anything to it since I applied it at 11:45. And I am getting shiny on my chin and on this part of my cheek and like the nose and the forehead. Basically in my T-zone. But it looks really good. Like I can walk out like this, no problem. I think I look very presentable. I feel like with a quick touch up I would look, you know, like I did when I first applied it for like almost 6 hours ago. However, I did do some things differently today than I did Friday. First of all, I went in with a mattifying primer. This is the most mattifying primer I have ever tried. It's the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Mattifying Primer. This is a super mattifying primer. When you apply this, it's like a thick, kind of almost like film that goes across your skin. It almost leaves your skin a little bit stiff, like you were wearing a face mask, but it will make you super matte. But I don't always use this primer because I find that there are lots of foundations that this one just doesn't work with. I have tried with a lot of liquid foundations that if I apply them on top of this primer, they will kind of get chunky and gunk up and kind of crumple, or I won't be able to blend out the foundations and they will look really patchy and streaky. I was kind of risking it this morning, but these two work great in combination. They work really great together. I had no issues blending this out on top of this primer and it is really keeping the foundation matte. Also, another reason why I don't always use this, it is because it is super mattifying, but it does nothing for my pores. Since I have like some pore issues on my chin and my nose and my cheeks, and these are also two of the points that get most oily, I kind of need something in my pores, you know, to fill up the pores and make the foundation just apply really smoothly across my skin. And this one does not do that. So if I'm wearing a foundation that does not sit well on the pores, then it will be really obvious with this primer because it does nothing to hide the pores. But as you saw in my last wear test, this one looks amazing on top of the pores even when you're not wearing a primer. So this combination is just so good. By the way, I only applied one layer of foundation today, not two. And I think it looks beautiful. It hasn't faded or anything really. I just think it looks really, really good. It's definitely only medium coverage, but with this primer underneath, I really like it. And just one more thing I did differently. I did apply setting spray today. I just used this Technic setting spray. This one is like super alcohol-y. Like when I spray it, if I get a little bit in my eye, it like stings. Like it's very like chemical-y. But maybe it works well because it definitely, you know, my makeup still looks good. So I would say if you're looking into this foundation and you want it to be matte, definitely pair it up with a matte primer and also use some setting spray, and then I think you will be very pleased with it. And of course I did my usual routine with my, you know, loose powder in the like T-zone and under the eyes, and then a regular press. I used the same powders today as well, so I did my same routine. But now I'm just going to touch it up a little bit and we shall see how it looks once I touch it up. I'm doing the little chin and you can see it just becomes matte. And today it also hasn't separated at all on my nose or anything. It looks really beautiful. Like literally while I'm touching it up, it looks like freshly applied makeup. Like look at that, it looks like I just applied it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys this little update. So all in all, I do like this foundation. It's not perfect, but it's definitely usable. And you know, with this little combination that I have going on, I think I'm going to really like this foundation. But I do think the matte finish is a bit misleading. If you think as an oily skin person that you're going to apply this and this only, and it's going to stay matte for a long time, I think you will be disappointed. But if you pair it with some powder, some matte primer, and some setting spray, I think you will really like it. Because you guys saw how it looked like on Friday and how beaming my face was with just oil and shine, and then you've seen it right now where it looks, you know, very manageable. So yeah, those are my final thoughts on the Technic Sculpt and Define Matte Finish Foundation. Let me know what you thought of this review down below. I really hope it was helpful, and let me know if you have tried this foundation and what your experience has been. And as always, don't forget to thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can also click the bell to get post notifications. And that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. So take care and bye bye.